So I'm going to go around the horn with all of you. When did you? I always ask this of the guys in the business and girls. When did you first start watching pro wrestling? Like, how old were you? And then, who was that wrestler that caught your eye that really like got you hooked on wrestling? And I'll start with JJ.
I started watching wrestling like more hardcore for WrestleMania 4. That's when I actually started seeing it for the like to actually know, like, not know what's happening, but to really look forward to what's happening. And the first person that caught my eye was this guy coming down the ring with this glitter cap, with this glitter cape with stars on it. And he had the wild hair, and he had the girl with the pretty dress. And I was like, I like him. I like him. And obviously that turns out to be the Macho Man, Randy Savage. Everybody loved Hulk Hogan. I just didn't understand why, because obviously for that particular WrestleMania, Hulk Hogan had the worst match of the night. So his match against Andre the Giant ended in a double disqualification. They both got exited out of the tournament. Like, why does everybody like this guy? He can't even beat one person. So so I gravitated towards Macho Man, and then it just escalated, and I just became a lifer. And my mom had put me onto wrestling from pretty much birth. But that's the first thing that I remember was WrestleMania 4 on. Like, but I've been a fan. I've been a part of this since I've been born, pretty much.
That's 1988. I'll date myself as probably the oldest guy here. We were watching Clash of the Champions at my friend's house because he had cable. We called the hotline, and when we called and found out that Hogan and Andre were both eliminated, I can still remember the look on his face as we looked at each other and going, "Oh my goodness, Hogan can't win the belt back." And for me, that was devastating. But for you, that was the beginning of the Macho Man. So that's cool.
Yeah, that was me seeing Hulk Hogan. Was like, he's not even that good.
Okay. All right.
I grew to end up becoming a Hulkamaniac. I mean, and still meeting him, when I met him, it was still an amazing experience. Obviously, the man is what he is and who he is, but having that chance to still, at the time, then meet my childhood wrestling idol, which he became, it was still a phenomenal experience. But hey, WrestleMania 4 was WrestleMania 4's opinion.
I love it. Chrissy, how about you?
I got introduced to wrestling young, like JJ, from my uncles. My uncle, all my uncles, but one in general was like a huge wrestling fan. He's like a bodybuilder, and he just like loved like UFC, all types of like entertainment of the sort. And I remember seeing Elizabeth, and I was like, oh wow, there's like girls that's here, but she's like dressed pretty, and she's walking this guy down the aisle, and I'm like, wow, like who are these people? And then like if she was like really like the only female at the time, and I was like, okay, girls can do this, because they didn't really have girl wrestlers in WWF back then. Mm-hmm. She was the only like girl, and then I was like, I gravitated towards Macho Man. And then I was, of course, a Hulkamaniac. I had the action figures, all of the above, even though I was a girl and I had brothers. I was still the only girl, and I still had to wrestle with them, or they wrestled me and tried to put moves on me. So, you know, I've always been a wrestling fan from 3 years old. And I remember watching WrestleMania 1 on VHS. I actually still have it. It's in my basement. And I remember watching it, and I couldn't understand what was happening, but I was watching it with, my uncle. And it just made me just love this entertainment, and I just like grew. It just grew, and just till now, I make my sons watch it, even though sometimes they're not really entertained. Or they'll like watch it with me, and they'll ask a bunch of questions. But other than that, it's been the seed has planted and grew, and it's still blossoming, and it's still growing. And as we venture on to like other wrestling companies that I'm growing to love now, especially now that my co-host, they get me into talking about New Japan and Impact and all these other things that I probably would have never watched or spoke about if I didn't meet them and, you know, do Tru Heel with them.
Right, the G1 Climax, a match that I attended, an event. I'm gonna.
According to Chrissy, it's a G1 orgasm.
Oh,
Sounds like
see,
a
I
porn.
wasn't sure.
That I'm supposed to go. You're supposed to help me go to, so that's fine. If this pandemic is over, you know.
There's so many jokes that I could go right now. I'm trying.
No pressure. Yo, I'm telling you, you need to go down that avenue, man. Tru Heels is unfiltered, man.
Yeah.
Let it rip, man.
I'm not sure if any one of us could take you there, but we all think we can. So I gotta get inside the female mind for a second. Pardon me. Sid. Growing up watching wrestling, yeah, we got a couple of girls that would kind of hang out and watch a little bit, but then they get into their dating, where we're no longer friends, and they're looking at dating and wearing makeup and going to prom, and all of a sudden that pro wrestling becomes kind of silly and stupid. That never happened with you, correct?
No,
Oh,
absolutely not. The only way I had missed wrestling was because I was working. So, and then I didn't have cable at one point, and then so I fell off a little bit, but I bounced right back. I would always watch WrestleMania. If I missed anything, I didn't miss in WrestleMania, and I made sure that I was available to watch it and be a part of it every year. So even if I missed like Raw, SmackDown, all of the other pay-per-views, I made sure I saw WrestleMania. Girly as it is, and all my girlfriends was like, "You still watch that?" Like they were watching it with me before. Like my friends would love The Rock, they love Stone Cold, they loved all of them. They loved Triple H, they loved Shawn Michaels, and I just kept going at it, and I kept loving it. And they still to this day like, "You still watch wrestling?" I'm like, "Yes, I watch wrestling." And believe it or not, a lot of girls watch wrestling, and it's a good community of people. I'd love to meet people all the time.
That's good news for all the fans out there, that there are women that still watch it and are still into it. So
great date, actually, too. If you could take a girl on a date, it's a great date night.
It is.
There we go. Okay, same question. How did you get into the crazy world, and who stuck you in?
It was definitely my grandmother. My grandmother was a very big professional wrestling fan. Every weekend, I used to go to her house and spend time over there while my mom worked. My mom used to work long hours on the weekend, so every Saturday morning I would go to my grandmother's house, and she would have on WWF Superstars. So I remember in my
12 o'clock.
Yes, being 2, 3, 4 years old, and her always having WWF Superstars on. And then I remember like the first time that I think I was maybe like 3, and I was like, it was like nighttime, and she turned on NBC. And wrestling was on. I was like, "What's this?" I was like, "What's this?" WWF went off at 1 o'clock. It's nighttime, Grandma. And Grandma was like, "No, Cindy. This is Saturday night's main event. Saturday night's main event." And I was like a kid, like my eyes were just all wide open. And I remember the first Saturday night's main event I saw was when Shawn Michaels defeated British Bulldog to become the WWF Intercontinental Champion for the first time. So that's like one of my earliest memories. And like 1992 was like my introduction of my like earliest memories of remember professional wrestling, because I got my first VHS that year, which was WrestleMania 8. And I still remember, I remember WrestleMania 8 like the back of my hand. The bloody war between Roddy Piper and Bret the Hitman Hart. And I remember so much hating Ric Flair because of his storyline against Macho Man, Randy Savage, and having those doctored photos of
Elizabeth. Yep.
But I so like, and this is like when I probably the earliest where I kind of got that emotional connection with wrestling, because I hated Ric Flair so much, but I had so much of a feeling of hatred for him when he left the WWF a year later. I followed him over to WCW because I remember being like 5 years old and flipping on the channel. You know, we just watched WWF Superstars. Then it's like 5, 6 o'clock in the evening. And then we flip over the channel to TBS, me and my cousin, who was very much into wrestling. And we're like, wait, this is not WWF.
Right.
What's this? What's this spinning stage? Wait, wait, that's Ric Flair. Who's this guy with the face paint? He doesn't have long hair like the Ultimate Warrior. He's got the crew cut. He's got blonde hair. And yes, we're talking about Sting. Sting was like that person. And I really feel like us finding WCW is like the real reason why I became such a big wrestling fan, because it wasn't just about WWF. I just loved anything that had to do with professional wrestling. So the fact that I found WCW at such an early age and I was able to kind of go back and forth, and I can't really say that I'm a person that chose a side. Yes,
Right.
WWF was the first one I was introduced to, but I was introduced to WCW so early that I felt like I've been a wrestling fan from a very young age.
It's crazy when you think about it, like the way the lineage just kind of crosses back and forth. And I like where we are now, not in a pandemic, but we've got AEW, we've got WWE, NWA was doing well, Ring of Honor. And I got to tell you, Wrestling Travel, we sponsored Impact, the road to Bound for Glory. And I went to the Bound for Glory card live in Chicago because it was close and we were sponsoring it. Can't find them on TV, but I went to a live show and I was like, man, last time I saw it, I wasn't quite. And good things going on. Slammiversary is coming up. And I'm super fired up about that card. And they've already got a great card, but I'm still going, as you guys are, who's going to show up? We've got that element of surprise now. So I kind of know who's going to show up because they gave me the X for the interview. So I got one guy that.
Which is what I'm missing in professional wrestling so much right now. I'm missing shock value right now. Like I'm missing the whole element of. That's why, like, I can't wait to watch Slammiversary, but I'm not gonna look at any dirt sheets or anything like that. I don't want to know. I don't want to know. And that when you see somebody coming through, it gives us the opportunity to be like, oh shit, did you see that on Sunday? Or did you see that? Go check this out, because you ain't gonna believe who came out.
Yeah.
When you know 2 weeks prior to he made the trip and he made the trip down. He made the trip down. It's like, all right, you just kind of ruined my suspense. Now I don't have to tell my friends. I don't have to tell my friends to tell their friends because they already fucking know. So now it's a matter of, are you interested or not?
Yeah, and I remember when they told us what was happening at Mania's, and we were like, oh shit, Ron Garvin's gonna wrestle Greg the Hammer Valentine? Okay, that's awesome. I'm excited about it. Not like, okay, it's gonna be Roman Reigns versus Lesnar, and everybody's like, oh God, why they gotta put these two? And I agree with you. I hate it. Because you know what? Yeah, were they pushing Roman a little bit hard? Yeah. But dude, I compared now, this is gonna be very, very Caucasian of me. I don't even know if I can go here. But the pushing of Roman reminded me of the song by Creed a few years ago with Arms Wide Open. That song, you couldn't turn on any station without hearing that song.
With arms wide open.
Yeah. You hated it.
It's a great song, though.
Became one of the greatest karaoke songs ever.
There we go. But do you see how I compared Roman Reigns to the Christian rock band Creed right there? Creed's job was to get a song
Christian
over.
Rock, I can't.
Get a number one. It's not their fault they're playing it all over. It's not Roman's fault they're pushing him. He's good. You know?
And it's funny you brought that up because I think Top Guy JJ can attest. That was like a big portion of Tru Heel Heat when it first started, is that we were the wrestling podcast
that love Roman Reigns.
That was in support of Roman Reigns. WrestleMania 33 weekend, we wore the Tru Heel shirts to the Raw after WrestleMania. And yes, this is the WrestleMania in which Roman defeated The Undertaker. So before that visceral response he got at the Raw after WrestleMania, we went through the corridors all the way up the escalator through the entire
with the best
building.
Theme song ever.
With the best theme song ever. And it went like a little something like this. Roman,
Roman,
the
the
big
big dog, Roman,
Roman.
Roman.
He's so strong.
Oh my goodness.
And then JJ has like the whole outfit, like it's the whole like thing, yeah.
Yeah, we I think it was
We actually went to, what is this, SummerSlam or Raw?
SummerSlam 2017.
We went there as matching Romans. We went there as Roman marks just to
Piss everybody
piss.
off.
Yo, that's the best thing about being a part of the Tru Heels is literally seeing how many people turns around to see how many people.
How many people we get upset by the fact that we are praising the person that they hate the most, and they can't even explain why they hate the most. And in a lot of ways, that was why I transitioned my love of Roman when it seemed like the fans were kind of like not hating him as much. I transitioned that over to a love of Ronda because I knew JJ could attest to this as well. I was like, I knew after the debut at the Royal Rumble, I was like, the way people hate Roman, they will hate Ronda the same way because this is the person who the WWE, this will be the first woman the WWE will get behind and push. I was like, they push Charlotte, but they won't push Charlotte like
they do
push
her. Yeah.
Ronda.
It's a sad fact, but it's true.
When they bring The Rock out to try to put Roman over, and even that does not work, I was like, oh. Then I was like, why?
I don't care if they're family or not.
Go with it. Just go with it. It was there. Especially that Monday after the Undertaker. Dude, it's there.
I've never heard like so many people be against one person. Like the delete chants, me and JJ we're in like the top section, so we're not really like down low, so we can't make a difference in the chants or anything. But people are saying delete, delete, delete to Roman. We are up there saying select, select, select. Like, and people literally like was just loved us. Like they were like, yo, you guys are hilarious. Like, and we had the Jericho list and people that were against Roman Reigns, like booing Roman Reigns. I was like, what's your name? He was like, Chris. I was like, Chris, you just made the list. You don't like Roman, you just made the list.
Oh, I love the list.
And why did you make the list? For the same reason that you can explain why you don't like Roman. You don't have a fucking reason, so you're going on the fucking paper. You just don't like him because you're following what everybody else is doing, you fuck.
Moving on from Roman. That's awesome. There's so many things I want to talk to you guys about because when you talk about Tru Heel Heat, how about right around WrestleMania 27, The Miz? Now, I've been around for a while. I know what's going on. And I catch myself in moments of watching that going, I fucking hate that guy. And then I'm like, oh, he's doing his job. He's doing it really well. Because, man, I could not stand him. Where were you guys?
Miz is really good as a heel, but me personally, I could never boo The Miz, to be honest with you, because I'm an MTV kid. And the first Real World Series season that I ever really watched and invested in was The Miz. And I related to The Miz more than anyone I've ever seen on a reality show because he was a true wrestling fan. Like the fact that he was like he bought the belt at a thrift store in Brooklyn and then brought the belt back and was like doing moves on the girls in the house. I was like, I did that shit all the time with my sisters. This is me with my sisters and my cousins. Like that's me. Like this Miz, I saw a lot of myself in The Miz. So The Miz is great at conveying a character that is hateable, disdainable, and annoying. But me personally, I can never fully hate The Miz because I know the real Mike McZann.
Chrissy, I cannot help but notice your shirt today. And I'm wondering, how do you feel? I don't want to get too in depth in it because I know you guys are probably going to talk about it on your podcast. But how do you feel after? I know it was a week ago, but after the results last night.
Yes, I did wear this because of him in homage to his run. He had a great run, and he deserves all the accolades and cred that he deserves it. And I am very, very happy for Keith Lee. I would have on a Keith Lee shirt, but I don't have one. I don't have one yet. But I said I will wear Adam Cole, to thank him for what he has done. Hold on one second. My children are calling me. Sorry.
Right. How about you, JJ? Keith Lee, Adam Cole.
Probably one of the proudest things that I've seen WWE do. Like, this is the first. So there's nothing to compare it to. This is the first time that any man has held the two most prestigious titles in the company, and they chose somebody that nobody would have really just said he's going to be the one that does it. They make a lot of stupid decisions. They are one of the most incompetent companies that I know to this day. But when they make a good decision and they make something that, we see as fans that this brother deserved that, I got to commend them for it. Because that was a hell of a fucking decision that they made to give him the distinct honor of being that man to hold the two most prestigious titles in a company that pure wrestling fans watch. And I was just like, there's nothing else to say. And obviously the match was really, really good. But there's nothing else further to say about it, because to me, I was like, this is, sometimes they make the right decisions and they nail it and they nail it and they nail it. This one, to me, they fucking nailed it.
Very good. Now we're at the 10-minute mark again. I can't believe I feel like we could do this every week. We get along, and that's why I love that Tru Heel Heat and Wrestling Travel. Behind the scenes, in front of the scenes, we're joining forces, and that's what you need to do in a time like this. I don't need any quote unquote heat with anybody, but I love you guys, love hanging out with you. But the most important question that I'm going to ask all of you today is, and I'm not just blowing smoke because you're here, because if you're a fan and you like podcasts, you guys are the ones that you need to listen to, because you do cover it all, and you do have you've got it all. You've got the serious talk, the stats that you guys were spouting off when I was on there. I was like, wow, these guys did their homework, and it's fun and funny and has a great feel. So for people that have not discovered Tru Heel Heat, what have you guys been up to? Where can we find everything? Is there Tru Heel Heat t-shirts for sale? What do you guys got going? I want to hear all about the brand.
Sid does all the work shit.
Yes. They always just pass it on to me. But yes, they can find us on our YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/Tru Heel Heat. TRUHEAT.
I'm about to say the same thing. Yep.
That's how it's spelled. We are really passionate about professional wrestling, and we kind of always say, like Top Guy JJ said before, we have unfiltered opinions. We're a very unfiltered type of podcast.
We cuss a lot.
But yes. I try my best not to kind of balance things out with JJ. But
our cussing comes with dialogue. Our shit, it comes with dialogue. It doesn't come with words spouting and dropping F and S bombs just because we can.
Right, I agree with him.
Yes, he has a point to his cursing, but yes, we are unfiltered opinions on professional wrestling by wrestling fans for wrestling fans. The Tru Heel Heat podcast, I really couldn't do it without any other two people than these two people right here. Chrissy Love is an excellent example for all female wrestling fans because she's a mother at the same time. She's out protesting during this like trying times in the world. She is out there being a great wife to her husband. She was working during the pandemic. She does everything, but she's able to kind of circle out a couple of hours within her week to kind of squeeze us in and talk about wrestling. And she's always on point, whether she knows about what we're talking about or not. She always knows what to say to make it entertaining, and that's why I love Chrissy Love. Top Guy JJ, I try my best to not say good things about him.
Understandable.
But this guy just has a charisma. He has a type of personality that you would just be entertained by. Whether you agree with the things he says or not, you will always be entertained by him and you want to listen to him. Whether you want to listen to him to be like, what the hell is he talking about? He is completely off base. Or you listen to him and you're like, he makes good points. He's really loud, but he makes good points. that is Top Guy JJ in a nutshell. But it's not just, the three of us. We have a whole team behind us. Like we said before, Baby Seth is our amazing producer for the podcast, as well as our Dark Side of the Ring reviews. We got Romeo, the connoisseur of all reporting. He is a very talented individual who does a lot of our editing and our post-production, as well as he's a co-host on our True Rewind series. That's where we go back in time to the Monday Night War and we rewatch a lot of things that haven't aged very well, especially Mongo McMichael on commentary. God, that is bad. But we suffered through it for you people, for your entertainment.
Bless your motherfucking heart.
That is a very fun series that you could check out. But like we said, we do show reviews. We got the Wednesday Night Warriors that review NXT and AEW. Those guys watch 2 hours of wrestling 4 hours of wrestling in 2 hours and then review it every Wednesday night. So I have to give it up to those guys. You got Jimmy and Cash. They do the All Elite recap. You got Drunk Guy JJ takes shots for every bad segment of Monday Night Raw. And there's a lot of bad segments. So his liver is suffering for your entertainment. So you should check us out and subscribe to the Tru Heel Heat YouTube channel.
YouTube, and I want to also put over your Twitter. Big Daddy Cal from Wrestling Travel messages me the other day this video from Matt Riddle, and I was able to go, yeah, I saw it about 4 hours ago on Tru Heel Heat. You guys are keeping up on everything, so I love it. So before we get kicked off of Zoom, I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, I love that you guys asked me to be on your podcast because you won me over. I'm a fan. I will never not push your podcast. It's fantastic, but I loved having you guys on. I hope that we can do this again because I feel like we've only kind of scratched the surface. So if you ever have time for a lockdown session in the future, and we could do it one-on-one. If you guys have time, we could do it 3-on-1, whatever. We can do it anyway because
watch your mouth. Watch your mouth.
I know. I almost G1 climaxed over the whole ending.
Watch your mouth with that.
Pardon.
So yeah, the unfiltered mind don't fucking go nowhere.
I just want to say, Justin, thank you so much for having us on. And you, good brother, you got such a big heart, and you're all about supporting those that are passionate about professional wrestling. So you deserve a whole bunch of credit. I know you've dealt with a whole bunch of interviews with a number of different type of personalities, but I don't know if too many of them have thanked you for your work. You work so hard of keeping together Wrestling Travel's YouTube channel. It's really popping off. So if you're watching this video and you've made it this long through this interview and you haven't subscribed to the Wrestling Travel YouTube channel, you're doing something wrong. Like, he's doing interviews like this all the time. This is a good brother, so support him.
Yes.
Thank you. Usually if they made it this far, I've done my job and they've fallen asleep at night. So maybe subliminally, if we keep saying subscribe to the YouTube. So no, but guys, an honor to speak with you. I can't wait to do more projects with you. I can't wait to be at WrestleMania 37, 38, 39, SummerSlam, Survivor Series, meeting you guys in person, shaking your hand, not breathing on you, but having a beer.
And the
and
drinks, yes.
talking
Yes.
wrestling and just going out and hanging out with the Tru Heel Heat crew. So thank you very much.
I'll say, man, it's been a pleasure, man. Like there's been a lot of people that we talk to during these podcasts, and I don't hold words back from anybody, and just know that the connection has been very mutual. It's general.
Yes.
It's a mutual connection, and it's something that is greatly appreciated when fitting in with the heels, and how we've been able to just stay true to ourselves and never really change who we are, but still grow to the respectable spot that we've gotten ourselves into. And now you've seen it and been a part of it. It's been a pleasure speaking to you these last couple of weeks, man. It's been really nice.
I appreciate it, JJ. Thank you. I might be an honorary. I mean, I booed for the bad guys before. I'll do it again.
We are knighting you as an honorary Tru
Tru
Heel.
Heel.
You are the Tru Heel of wrestling travel.
Yes, sir. All right,
Yes.
Justin, you got a minute to close this bitch out. So go ahead, man. It says less than 1 minute. You got a minute.
Less than 1 minute. So
Got a
great.
minute.
Again, thank you. Our podcast, we don't have a podcast. My little YouTube show JJ's put me under a lot of pressure here, has been brought to you by Tru Heel Heat. And I cannot thank you very much, Sid, JJ, and Chrissy, whose name I will never forget again. Told the story off camera. Could not think of this girl's name for the life of me, and then I panicked. But you guys do amazing things. Keep being awesome. Send me your Twitter stuff. I will hang it up below this so people can follow you individually. Check them out on Facebook. Check them out on Twitter. And mainly check them out on YouTube. And I can't wait for you guys to hit 1,000. Like, we're getting there. And I love working together. So signing off for Wrestling Travel. Thank you, Tru Heel Heat.
Boom, you did it.